What episode number, John?
Okay, so Grant and I did fucking. Hang on, we did.
You released a mini after that one. I think.
I know, but those minis don't count on our thing here.
Oh.
I don't know. Can somebody help me with that?
Let me see. I think Ron, redeem yourself. What number are we on?
There we go.
24 or 25. I'm just not sure.
I think it's 25 because the Secret Wars one will be 24 because Robots was 23.
Yep.
All right. So can I just start this thing?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to work on my windows as you started. So I got my windows open.
Welcome to a very, very special episode of the Geek Savants. It's an anniversary episode, actually. Episode 5 of the Geek Savants. I am Dave.
Oh, I am super ugly.
Grant Miller.
Brian Roberts.
And Ron Zorb.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
If this was an episode of
happy anniversary. Happy.
I was about to say, if this was an anniversary issue of The Walking Dead, one of the Asians in this group of people dies. So
I got shot in the eye.
It's up for grabs, but we'll see what happens, guys. All right.
Remember our old 3-4 hour marathon anniversary episodes? Those were the best.
Those were the best.
Drive-by shootings and shit that just like happened in the air. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
So today,
main topic.
This last month, a friend of mine goes by the name of Joe Fox. He is a chef living in, I believe, the Bay Area now. He decided because there's no sports that we should have some kind of bracket. So he wanted to do a best sandwiches bracket.
What was this guy's name again?
Joe Fox.
How well does he fuck?
Fox.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fox, you fucks. It's a fox.
No. He doesn't give a fox.
Yeah. And then, so he and a few friends of ours, he's in my fantasy football league. Him and a few friends of ours like came up with a huge list of all like regional sandwiches, famous sandwiches. And I sent it to you guys, but this is like promoted on Bay Area radio stations and shit. So it was like a lot of people participated in this. I didn't send you guys the actual links to participate. I had us do our own sandwich bracket. So what I'll do is we'll go over the sandwich bracket first, and then we'll go over our picks, and then I'll tell you guys how it actually shook out in the end. Okay.
So could you do this, John? Could you read just down and dirty the list of sandwiches?
I shall, Dave.
Okay. Because there were a few I wasn't like familiar with, and I don't know if you guys were familiar with.
All right, here we go. Oh, geez, that went small. Hang on. Hold up. Here. Okay, let me go up here like and then I zoom in a little more so we get more.
I had to Google like almost half of these fucking sandwiches.
Okay, so let's start with the number one. Now, I thought the top like 4 seeds in each bracket was pretty solid. Like I as I look at these, let's pay attention to the numbering. You know, like the 1, 2, 3, 4. That's considered each bracket. That's your top 4 out of that bracket. I felt they were pretty good. So one we got here: peanut butter and jelly, no brainer. Vegemite and cheese toasty, Australian.
That's Australia, yeah.
Yeah, disgusting. Philly hoagie and the Montreal smoked meat. That looks kind of yummy. The Montreal smoke. I've never had that one before. The number 5 and 12 match was the barbecue pulled pork versus the Monte Cristo. The New York pastrami on rye versus the ham and cheese on Wonder Bread, which is, I don't know that one. Next, the 6-11 match was the tuna melt versus the New England grinder.
What the fuck's a New England grinder, by the way?
It's got to be like a hoagie or like a Philly cheesesteak style sandwich with some type of meat on it. I don't know exactly what.
I just imagine some like Bostonian douchebag that's grinding about chicks in a bar. He's like a grinder.
No, that's it exactly. You nailed it. That's exactly
the Italian submarine.
Sign me up for that grinder.
The Italian sub, now that looks like your kind of almost basic Subway sandwich, right? Is that what we're talking about? Look at that. All right. This one's awesome. The bologna sandwich. Not to be trifled with, though, because, I mean, we've all eaten the bologna.
Was the bologna up against the sloppy Joe, or was the bologna up against
Bologna up against the Italian sub.
Italian sub.
Oh, okay. That's
Sloppy
stupid.
Joe against the s'more. Which okay, so this is a first appearance of a kind of a non-traditional sandwich.
Right.
But the s'more is technically a sandwich. So I
call bullshit. That
you
shouldn't
didn't like
be
that
there.
one? All right. Let's see here. The El Bocadillo versus the El Choripen. I did not have any idea what either of these sandwiches were.
They
Did
both
you guys?
look good though.
That bocadillo, I've had a bocadillo before in Puerto
Right.
Rico, I believe, but the El Charpan I've never had.
They both look good though. So
Yeah.
then another number one
Bocadillo
comes
is pretty
up.
good.
Oh, Philly.
The Philly cheesesteak, which is a perfect number one. That's a good one. Against the grilled vegetable, we have the Italian panini versus the New England roast beef.
That's
po'
the
boy.
second New England sandwich on this list.
That's right. A lot of regional sandwiches on these things. The po' boy,
Ooh.
which is a very New Orleans. That's a regional sandwich for sure. Po' boy versus the Chicago Maxwell Street Polish. I've not had that
A
one.
hot dog, by the way, is the Maxwell Street.
It's a hot dog. It looks like
It's a Polish dog, but with stuff on it. It's got.
Do
looks like,
you feel like a hot dog is a hot dog though, and a sandwich is a sandwich? Because
it's different when you're using different meat. When you're not using just a straight hot dog. When you're using other types of sausage or links, I think it becomes like a sandwich at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, but if
and the type of
on
bread.
this list, hot
Right.
dog gets vetoed if it's on this list. But let's
Yeah. All right. The croque monsieur versus the Welsh rarebit. I never have had a Welsh rarebit before.
Yeah.
La torta mexicana versus the Lucas cold cut. The cubano versus the French jambon.
Is the Lucas cold cut is that Lucas like delicatessen like Bay Area, or is it like
I couldn't tell. I would say that is you're close enough on that's what we can say it is.
Right.
It's like a traditional delicatessen style cold cut sandwich. Is that
Yeah,
Ron?
I mean,
you
I
seem to
imagine
be
that-
the expert on this one. What is your take on that?
Well, that's how I saw it. I saw it as
A traditional.
deli cold cut sandwich.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? And Lucas is just the one that the Bay Area people would know because it's
Right.
I thought for some reason back east there was a famous Lucas.
There
too.
is. I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
where I think this is what they are actually referencing as the back east Lucas, but I think we can pretty much like say it's the same as the Lucas that's out
Right.
here type of thing.
Okay.
The Cuban versus the
Ooh,
French
Cuban.
jambon, the meatball sub versus the Nashville hot chicken, the banh mi versus the filet o fish. Let me get over here.
I gotta ask you guys: am I spoiling it if I said filet of fish? Because I love a filet of fish.
I just had
All right.
a bite of a banh mi the other day. It was actually really good.
Yeah. Let's see here. The Katsu Sando, which I do not know what that is.
Oh, that's like a deep fried chicken sandwich. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks good.
It could
Versus-
be pork too, but yeah, it's chicken.
Club versus the club. Chicken salad versus the muffaletta. Onion bagel and lox versus, which is another, see, this is another weird one because like the s'more, it's not a traditional sandwich. It kind of falls into your breakfast type of like sandwichy type of a thing. But it's still a sandwich, right? You can kind of like put anything on a bagel, and I guess it becomes a sandwich, right? Okay, so then we have the onion bagel and lox versus the lobster roll, the speedy, I don't know.
I have no
Right.
idea.
The Chicago Italian beef, the Chick-fil-A classic versus the egg salad, the avocado
Depends on where
toast.
you get that.
Just call
I
it
know.
a Dave, man.
I know. The avocado toast versus the bacon, egg, cheese on English muffin. Now, this was a real like hot topic amongst the voters was how this sandwich showed up. And I honestly,
about the six salad thing though, Brian, you can just burn it out. But keep going.
I love the bacon egg. I think the bacon egg cheese on the
Yeah.
English muffin is one of my all-time favorite sandwiches.
Super good. It is super good.
It might be the
this
fact
morning
that
I made Canadian bacon and
Yeah.
cheese on an English muffin. I called them Dave McMuffins, and they are goddamn delicious. You throw a little fucking hash brown in there too. Woo! So
it might be because McDonald's like kept it from me for so long by shutting it down at 11 o'clock or whatever that I'm now like obsessed with the egg and
and
cheese.
now that you can
McMuffin.
get it any time of the day, you're like,
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Let's see the Kentucky hot brown, which is what Dave calls his poops.
That's funny. I was thinking that's what I called myself, but then you just cool.
Versus the Elvis, which okay, I'm going to go with the Elvis. We assume is banana, peanut butter, and bacon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Avocado, cucumber, and sprout. Sorry.
Who likes
versus
Sprouts, by the way? Are Sprouts the worst thing ever?
What is that?
Sprouts are
Where
good.
is the sandwich in that sandwich, by the way? I mean, hello. Where's the meat, for God's sake? It's a salad.
It's a salad. Great.
But it's a couple of croutons on the outside of it.
There's a place in my work that makes this that they call it a summer sandwich.
Okay.
And it has ranch on it.
I could see it. It's a light sandwich. I could definitely see it as a very light sandwich.
You're eating salad in between bread. It's just...
All right, that was up against the grilled cheese. 15 is the Atlanta fried chicken, which looks fucking delicious, by the way. Look at that.
But how is that any different than the Nashville Hot? Is it buffalo
because
wings?
The Nashville Hot is similar to a Chick-fil-A Hot, which it's more basic with just like pickles on it, and it's like spicy. So this one, obviously, I think this looks like it might have like an onion ring on it or something like that. It looks
that shit
looks like it has everything on it.
Hella hard to eat. That shit looks like
oh, dude, that good kind of messy. That good kind of messy.
I seriously, every time you say shit like that, I get so aroused, John.
I know.
That good kind
I feel like Cardi B should make a song about this sandwich.
Straight up gushy. Straight up gushy.
The gushy sandwich. Let's see. The Atlanta fried chicken versus the Reuben. Patty melt versus the chicky parm parm. Texas beef pit versus the Dagwood, which I thought was an interesting choice. The Euro versus the barbecue Texas brisket. The Fluffernutter versus the French dip. La torta ahogada, which no idea what that is. It looks like a piece of bread in a bowl of soup or something. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, I love some of these. I was like, why are they up against two weird sets? That means one weird sandwich is going to win. Like this La Torta is up against the La Piadina. That means one of these dumb sandwiches is going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
Right, that's pretty stupid.
Turkey Havarti versus the tuna sandwich. And our final one is the falafel versus the BLT. Any thoughts on these?
That's a tough one right there because depending on my mood, I like a simple BLT, but I love falafel.
They're both great.
It's that one was like
I'm a little upset that I agree with John. Some of these, I'm a little upset how they got kind of smashed together because then it's like, well, I kind of like these two, and then I don't like any of these 5 or 6, and then
it shook out in the voting too. I think that it ended up being a lot of that, like not in our voting necessarily, but in the overall voting, there was a lot of like people canceling each other out and stuff. And then like weird sandwiches getting passed because, you run out of choices at a certain point.
Right.
So let's see. I'm just going to go through some of these real quick that like I thought were very interesting. The pulled pork versus the Monte Cristo. I don't spoil anything about your guys' picks, but this one I thought was very hard to pick because I love both of these type of sandwiches are freaking amazing, and so I thought that one was real tough. Let's see. Any other ones that jumped out at me? Let's see here. I thought there was another one. No, that's probably the hardest one that I thought was out of the first round. I thought that one was like one of the craziest ones to have those two pitted against each other right away. Patty melt chicken parm is a pretty tough one.
Mine in a similar way was the Euro versus the a little bit more the Euro versus the beef brisket. Like those.
That's a tough one.
Those are both great too.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
And
the Euro was tough to beat. The Euro, like Dave said with the falafel, is tough to beat because the Euro is, you can get a few different things inside of it. There's different flavors you can get. It works on a lot of levels. The Euro is a tough out, I think, in a lot of
the thing with the Euro is you've always got a 10% chance of getting the squirts afterwards, whereas like the beef brisket, generally pretty safe.
Really?
The beef brisket means you're going to be shitting like a huge log in your toilet later. That's what that means.
God, Brian almost sounded like a weirdly racist character from episode 1 of Star Wars right there. It was insane.
I think you need to find a new Euro place, Grant.
Grant, you might be going.
Kind of worried.
It's like Russian roulette going there.
Yeah.
It's so good, but you just run that risk.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to go through ours. I don't really have like a pretty graph or anything for this. It's just I'm just going to read them off. And these are going to be our final 8 So this is Brian's final 8. So Brian came down to. I should probably.
I don't even remember what I chose.
Let me.
I have mine.
I probably would change my mind now. That's what was kind of tough about some of these things. But
hang on. Cole. Let me just open. Nope, that is Grant's. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
I think I have mine.
I'm just opening. No, I have yours. I'm just. I want to make sure that I have the right bracket open. Nope. That is not it. I'm sorry. I am just opening up the right bracket. Here we go. All right. Sorry. So Brian's top 8 ended up being the BLT versus the. Okay, so we had I'll go in the bracket. So in the PBJ bracket, he had the pastrami on rye versus the Italian submarine. You know what? I'll put this up for you guys so you guys can. I'm sorry, I should do this, and then that way you guys.
I love how much you're apologizing right now because
I know. I'm sorry.
I've never heard John apologize for anything, but these sandwiches are really
sorry.
Hitting you in the heart, John.
I know. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Let me zoom in here. Please forgive me, Dave. Is what I'm saying. Okay.
Hey, you know what? No forgiveness needed. No forgiveness given.
All right, I'm going to go to my notes here, Brian. All right, so his 8 was BLT versus pastrami rye versus the Italian sub.
Can we just do this, John? Could we just say, all right, in this bracket, we all chose that so we could argue whether or not we're right or wrong instead of being like, these were Brian's thing.
I'm sure I will list Brian's, and if any of you guys also chose that, then
that's great.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay.
And then if not, I'm going to witch hunt you, Brian, and argue against you.
As always.
Okay,
sure.
Very good.
Let's see here. So Brian picked the pastrami. Did I say the pastrami on rye versus Italian sub? Did anybody else have that?
I think I did, but I can't remember.
Grant, you had the Italian sub.
Okay,
so that's good. So you guys took the Italian sub, which pushed it, which means you guys went all the way through. No tuna melt for you guys. That means you got rid of the bocadillo, the sloppy.
Is this on the right side or the left side of the?
It's on the left side. It's right here where I'm.
Oh, sorry.
It's in this bracket right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a little close. You got rid of the PB&J. Honestly, I thought PB&J would go further. Was there a reason why do you guys have any reason why you went against the PB&J? Was it just a sandwich?
I love PB&J, but I just love other ones more.
Yeah. It's like PB&J is like a basic after school snack. It's like whatever, I can just slap that shit together, right?
Yeah, I think at this point in my life I'm more about the savory, less about the sweet.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I'm all about the savory and the sweet. But if you could get that and then throw fucking umami in it, fuck it, I'm in. If you could get those 3 fucking things in there, I'm 100%.
Well, for me, sometimes I have stomach issues, and so I go for sandwiches that I know that aren't going to screw me up.
Yeah.
So a PB&J is a go-to sandwich. So
Ron actually was the only one to have his PB&J make it to the final 8. Oh no, I'm sorry. I had PB&J too. Me and Ron both had PB&J.
I mean, I didn't see a turkey cranberry on this fucking list, but that's savory and sweet, and I would be I was on this list, and you threw stuffing in there, I'd be like, okay, that's a real fucking. That's a real sandwich,
That's a whole dinner.
Yeah.
Ron had so Ron also had the Italian sub. So that means that he also had the Italian sub. Sorry, so he was what drew you guys to the Italian sub?
They're fucking yummy.
Are they?
I don't think I've ever had a bad one. They're basic, but they have a good combination of flavors.
Yeah, I think that meat combo and
it's salty meat.
I did that one too, and I love it because especially if you throw fucking pickles on it and some mustard.
You didn't pick that one, Dave.
I did.
No, you didn't. Dave's pick was the Bocadillo and the Monte Cristo.
Well, no, but it made it to the semifinals.
Okay. Sorry.
Italian sub versus grinder there, and then I went Bocadillo over it. But I think I might be the only one in the group that's had a Bocadillo.
Mine ended up being Bocadillo as time went on because it was down to that was what was left as we went on, in the voting that I did. It was I ended up having to pick the Bocadillo because it was the most savory sandwich left out of the ones that were left,
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a tuna melt. Tuna melt would have been my one to pick out of that if I had made it.
What are you in a fucking high school cafeteria right now?
Tuna melt and a PB&J. Those were my 2 choices out of that bracket.
Do not eat those together. That sounds
no. I mean, I wouldn't pick either of those.
Gas station.
Okay, let's talk about real quick. I want to go through Dave picked the Monte Cristo.
Dave did.
Okay, so I want to talk about 2. So did Grant. Grant picked the Monte Cristo. Dave picked the Monte Cristo, and I want to talk about one of Brian's picks too. So, what about the Monte Cristo drives you guys crazy? Because it's a very interesting sandwich.
It is. So the reason I picked it is because it's not very readily available.
Right.
So when you see it on a menu, you're like, "Ooh, do I really fucking get dirty right now?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's a deep fried meat sandwich with Swiss cheese and cranberry sauce." It's like sweet and savory and fat and just like comfort food on like a whole level. And because I can't get it like I could get an Italian cold cut sandwich, like it's very special, right?
That's pretty much why I picked it, because it is kind of rare and special. And so it's like when you go somewhere that actually has them, it's a nice treat.
Yeah. It's the same reason why for breakfast I have a chicken fried steak. Because I'm like, oh, it's a fucking treat. I can't make it at home. Like, you could make it home, right? Like, I can't make a Monte Cristo, like, as well as, like, you know, some, like, a restaurant that specializes in that shit. So, like. Yeah.
I looked at this also, though. Here's how my criteria for this went. Like, what have I had the best version of? Okay, so, like, if I've had the sandwich, which one have I had? Like, I know that I always have a pretty good version of. And then another thing was, you know, like when I have it, is it like always tasty? You know, is it always a pretty tasty sandwich? So in the Monte Cristo one, I ended up going with, I think, the barbecue pulled pork in that one.
That's a good choice though too.
Because it's just, I love barbecue. I love a saucy, like, I love shredded pork sandwiches like that. And Monte Cristo, because it's not readily available and it's not something I have very much, I can't say that I love it as a sandwich. You know, I can't say like, oh shit. You know, it's funny is the croque monsieur is on this list also, which is a similar sandwich to Monte Cristo, turkey, cheese, grilled like that, with like a bechamel sauce or something on it. And I've had that one a lot more. And that one I voted through a lot faster because I've had it. It's very similar, you know, it's fried like with egg batter type of thing. But I don't know. The Monte Cristo was the toughest choice. I thought the Monte Cristo and the barbecue pulled pork, because I think they're both winners. They're both winners.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely voted through barbecue pulled pork, but like, and I mean, maybe my problem is this. I have not had a bad Monte Cristo because I rarely have it.
Right.
I have had pulled pork where I've been like, it's dry, the bread sucks, this just doesn't have the flavor on it. I got to throw more barbecue sauce on it just to make it palatable. You know, like I've had some bad ones for sure.
Brian, you picked one that I thought it's the pastrami and rye. Okay, so let's.
Yeah, why did I pick that? Huh?
No. I honestly, it's an interesting. I'm not bringing it up because it's stupid. There is a very reason I'm bringing this one up right here. So the pastrami on rye, New York. It's called the New York pastrami on rye. So this is not a Reuben, because a Reuben has coleslaw,
right.
sauerkraut, and like a Thousand Island dressing on it.
Right.
The New York pastrami on rye is just sort of a grilled pastrami sandwich. Is that what we're going with?
Mm-hmm. Like
okay,
cheese.
you like that? It's delicious. Is that what?
I like pastrami and I like rye.
I love like rye is definitely my favorite
right
bread.
Yeah. But you don't eat it on any, like, you eat it very rarely though. That's why I can't hang with rye that much, because it's not, unless it's like a pastrami.
Mm-hmm.
It
is very specific, I would say.
It is. Like, you can eat other type of breads with other type of meats, but it's like when it comes to rye is a tough one. It's tricky.
I agree. Maybe it's similar like what Grant and Dave are talking about. It's like when you kind of get that kind of sandwich, you can get the rye, you can get it's kind of like that warm pastrami melted. It's good.
You like a thick, buttered, marbled rye bread, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the shit.
I feel like I want to eat one right now.
All right, that was just the first round.
I'll tell you right now, filling this out made me so fucking hungry.
Yeah, this is like a bad idea.
Yeah. All right, so out of this second, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Sorry.
Out of this second bracket, I'll just go through you guys' things real quick here. Brian had the banh mi. Oh, I'm sorry. He had the, is that it? The banh mi versus the Philly? Am I reading this too far? Brian had a banh mi versus the Philly. Grant had the, is this the Nashville hot chicken versus the Philly? Dave had the Philly versus the Cubano. Ron had the, where's yours at? Yours is the, Ron went with the cold cut versus the panini. All right. What's the panini? Which panini was that?
It's the Italian panini.
Okay. What's on that? Do you remember?
I'm assuming it's the same combination of Italian meats plus the, what is it, olive oil.
Oh, there it is.
And stuff, yeah.
Up against the New England roast beef. That's an interesting one. Okay. I like a nice panini. A nice panini is pretty bomb. You put a little red pepper on there. That's pretty bomb. And then
you do it all for the panini, John.
Out of this one, I had the croque monsieur and the banh mi out of this one. So we a lot of us went with the banh mi. Am I right about that, or just two of us?
I did the filet of fish. Filet of fish with my shit.
You did not pick the filet of fish, Dave. You picked.
I did. I did that. It was that versus the.
I'm looking at your thing right now. It says Bocadillo, or I'm sorry, where are we at here? Philly versus Cuban.
Oh, you're at the finals.
I'm in the final 8. I'm not doing this single bracket shit. I'm just doing. Fine. Yeah. Sorry. Good. We get it. You picked a filet of fish. Okay. Jesus. Dave wants to brag about picking the worst sandwich on the fucking thing. Good job, Dave. Congrats.
There's a problem for me with the banh mi because the banh mi is a sandwich, but there's different types of banh mi.
There's different types. Yeah, there's a lot of types you can get.
Well, I feel like that, I look at it like the grilled cheese was another one where there's a lot of grilled cheeses, right? You add things, bacon, ham, this kind of thing. But it's like the banh mi you can get. The gyro is the same way though, dude. Same with the
gyro is the same way.
The cheesesteak comes in so many variations. It's tough to say which one you're talking about.
True.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's the most common. So the Philly cheesesteak is just a fucking steak sandwich. It's just a French dip that's been like
French dip.
Right.
All right, Dave. You picked the Cubano.
I did.
What's up with that?
I love a Cubano.
What's a Cubano? Sandwiches.
A Cubano is it's pastrami it could be ham, sweet pickles, mustard, and then grilled
It's grilled, yeah. Kind of like a panini, not exactly like a panini, but kind of like that.
They're good.
It's good. They're good. They are good.
Yeah.
I feel Grant just picked that Nashville hot chicken because it looked delicious.
It really, really does.
Jesus Christ. My God. Guys, I'm so bummed that I cannot eat a sandwich right now. This is the worst of all time, talking to you guys about
I know. And then, of course, most of us, I didn't actually, weirdly enough, but Philly was up there. Philly's that's a classic.
A good sandwich, yes.
Yeah, that's an easy one. All right, now we'll go over to our, oh boy, sorry about that. All right, go over to our other bracket. So this is the breakfast sandwich in this one? Yep. Okay. I had the breakfast sandwich versus the club out of this. Let's see here. Ron, I believe, had is this the muffaletta?
Yep, muffaletta.
Yes, the muffaletta versus the grilled cheese.
What the fuck is a muffaletta?
Yeah, what's a muffaletta?
Yeah.
It's you get it from Cajun places. It's like a salami, ham, provolone with olives and I forget. It's like vinegar and olive oil.
Oh, and it sounds like an Italian sub almost. It sounds. Is it? And is the delivery system different at all?
It has different. I think a little bit of different spices on it, just because of the area that it's from. But
sounds good.
I mean, I'm sensing a pattern in you, Ron.
He went with some. Ron's got some weird ones on his line.
Like Ron's entire final list is the same sandwich, basically.
It's fun. Well, this is the thing. I'll just say my one blanket thing about the whole thing that just threw me off. There was no salami sandwich at all. Like, how could you not? You could have ham, but not salami. So every single sandwich that you see Italian sub has salami in it.
Yeah.
The panini has salami in it.
Ron could not participate because the salami threw him off so much that he was like, I'm out.
I agree with Ron in the sense that I do love a good salami sandwich. Salami, cheese, put pickles in that too or whatever. Salami is very
good. A big, hot, thick salami?
Yeah. Give it to me all the time.
Okay, good. Dave had Dave is real funny for this bracket. I love Dave's bracket on this. Breakfast sandwich versus the lox and bagel sandwich. Dave picked you went with the two breakfast sandwiches out of this.
I'll tell you why. Because most of my heat came from the other columns on the left and not the right. And here I was like, oh shit, like there's so many breakfast choices here that I never make a lox like a bagel. I never fucking make, I make breakfast sandwiches at home, sure, but I hadn't had a McDonald's one in how long, and I was like, oh man, that sounds hella good right now.
I love hearing your guys' criteria on like why you pick these things. It's really funny. Grant picked a lox and the bagel, of course, and versus the Elvis. Grant, have you actually had an Elvis before?
Not at like a restaurant, but I've made them based off.
Oh, okay. You have made peanut butter, banana, and bacon.
Yes.
Is it delicious? It sounds fucking delicious.
It's really fucking good. Yeah. Growing up, my mom used to make us peanut butter and banana sandwiches, and she'd drizzle honey in there.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That was like a staple. And so to just add, bacon in there is just a natural.
I mean, can we all just agree that the winner of this battle is bacon? Can you throw bacon in it?
Yeah, like you throw bacon in anything. It's great.
No. You know what?
I goddamn coffee.
I feel like the winner of this thing is like, okay, cool. You got a sandwich. That's great. Now, can you throw that on a grill? Because that makes it that much fucking better. Yeah. Like you go like, oh, cool. I love like a tuna salad sandwich, and then you're like, but can you add cheese and grill that motherfucker? Because that would also be great.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the greatest invention ever was a panini press. Right?
A way to
That's like the best thing ever. Like I had a George Foreman grill, and all I used it for was paninis. I didn't use that shit for anything but that.
All right, and then finally, Brian's out of this bracket he had another interesting one, by the way. He had the grilled cheese, good for Brian, versus the lobster roll. Brian, lobster roll. What's happening right now?
I've had some good lobster.
I have never, ever had a lobster roll.
They're good. Me either. They're very, rich. It's not like something that I would say that you would want to eat often.
Are you saying I'm poor? Am I poor?
Yes, that's exactly what it's
too rich for me?
Yeah.
Is this a parasite situation? Come on.
Yeah.
What comes in a lobster roll, Brian?
It's mostly just lobster. It's like a lobster slaw kind of thing. And
there's
it's
like
on the
usually and like a spread and some. So I almost picked it, but the thing is, I've only had a lobster roll maybe like 3 times, and they've all been mediocre. But then I've seen them made on like Food Network channels and stuff where they just look like the most amazing thing ever. So I wanted to pick it, but I couldn't because the ones I've had weren't spectacular.
Yeah, it's all about basically it's like the lobster you get is what makes it good. Like it's a simple in that sense that
it's a simple
whatever meat you get is gonna dictate the how good that thing is. But
whatever
there's
meat you get,
there was like a couple of places in like Monterey, Half Moon Bay.
Yeah,
that has some good lobster rolls.
Lobster in general, I have to say, I just have never really eaten lobster.
It's not as good as crab, but
I don't eat a lot of crab. What's wrong with
both so much?
They're both good.
Last time you guys went to a crab feed?
Long time,
right? I don't like eating with my hands, and you guys know that, and that's why sandwiches are the perfect fucking scenario for me, because I'm just like, bread keeps it all in, but if a sandwich is too messy, I don't want it, and I definitely don't want to eat crab with my fucking hands. I just don't. It's not my thing.
Never been to a crab feed, ever.
What? We should. Oh my god, the Geek Savants go.
Well, not right now.
Not right now, unless it's outdoors. But I'd go with you guys. That'd be fun. We could take like a new bukkake.
Talk about one of the messiest meals that you could have. So near where I live, there's a Louisiana seafood place, and it's like a boiled bag.
Wait, you live in Louisiana?
Yes, it's full of crab and clams and
crawfish and
crawfish and usually some other like you can pick what you want, but it comes in a giant bag full of like butter and juices, so you're reaching your hand repeatedly.
This sounds so fucking gross to me. Oh god.
And then breaking stuff up and eating it and putting, it's amazing. I fucking love it, but it is messy. They give you bibs.
This sounds like could be a description of Grant's sex life right here. Like, it's messy. You need a bib. You're just reaching your hand in and you're coming out with slop.
I don't know why everything tastes like coconut tanning lotion, but it does.
All right. This top bracket here. Let me just figure out what we got. Okay. So Brian this was a tough bracket too. Brian had the BLT versus Reuben. Grant had the Reuben versus the tuna sandwich, which I thought was an interesting choice.
I mean, one of these people has gone to prison.
Yeah. I like it. Just some white bread, maybe some American cheese, just mayonnaise. Let's see. Dave had the Reuben versus the BLT. Ron had the BLT versus the Gyro. And then I had the Gyro versus the BLT also.
I think a BLT is a classic sandwich.
It is a classic sandwich.
It's not overly complicated. It's always delicious unless you fuck up the bacon. And who fucks up bacon? It's like crisp and fresh and delicious and not that bad for you. I love it. And if it's on rye, double points.
We all had the BLT and or Reuben and or Gyro. So that is a pretty good, except for Grant's tuna sandwich or whatever, which that was a real rando. What's up with that, Grant? There's so many good sandwiches in this one.
I know, but I love, it's like a comfort food for me. I love a very, very simple tuna sandwich. I don't like fucking relish in it. I don't put lettuce or cheese. I just do tuna out of the can, some mayo, pepper, maybe a little bit of salt, and that's
no
it.
Mustard on the bread or anything like that. Wow.
No capers.
I do love capers, but I just keep it super simple.
I mean, the capers that I'm used to hearing you talk about are the ones where you like do crime. Like not the ones
your capers.
They're so delicious. I love capers.
I thought for sure that the Reuben would be. A lot of people were saying the Reuben was the leading guy. That was the one that was going to go all the way. Everybody loves a nice Reuben.
So a Reuben is one of my all-time favorite sandwiches, but I will often get one that I bite into it and it's got a big chunk of gristly fattiness, and it just turns me off, and I'm like, it just ruins because the flavors are so wonderful.
Yeah.
But then it's hard to get the meat not like gross. Like there's almost always a chunk of something in there that I just don't like. So
my Gyro peeps, what's up with the Gyro? I love a nice Gyro. I'll eat a Gyro every day. I love a fucking Gyro. I like a chicken Gyro. I don't like a lamb. I don't like beef or lamb or any of that kind of shit. I like a nice chicken Gyro.
I like the lamb.
That Gyro. I don't eat lamb. I don't fucking know lamb.
Yeah, I can't get into lamb.
Nah.
No lamb kebabs?
No.
What's your aversion to lamb? Just because it's a little baby?
I ain't eat no fucking lamb because there's other meats, for God's sake. Unless we were completely out of meat, I might be like, I guess I'll eat this lamb. But
is the word gamey? It tastes like blood to me when I eat it.
I couldn't even tell you, but
gross.
Yeah, that's all I can taste.
That tastes like blood.
Yeah, it's got that kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to describe that.
A little gamey.
Yeah, it's gamey, right? I think that's the word for it.
It's a good game.
All right, let's go to get down to the nitty gritty here. That was our Elite Eight. Okay, each of our Elite Eight matchups. So let's find out who won out of those. Okay, so we'll just stick with this bracket since it's the one up. We'll stick with this is going to be the whole right side of the board, basically. This is Brian's final four that's going to be coming up here. He had the lobster roll versus the BLT.
I don't know if I like these brackets, though. I'm a little upset because
I know. Hey, you got to go with the way the bracket
versus the
You had the Reuben, I think.
The Reuben, and that messed me up a lot. Actually, that it was those two in that bracket really messed with my head because I would pick both those sandwiches over a lobster roll. Dude. Like the lobster roll had no business getting that far. You know what I mean? Like
Cinderella story, not high seed here. You fucking picked the lobster roll, asshole. That's why the lobster roll is up against this fucking sandwich now.
You know, if I had it my way, it wouldn't have won against the Reuben.
I hear you, dude. Like, seriously, Reuben BLT could be the final matchup, right? I mean, honestly, that's like two of the greatest.
And let's be fair. If I'm looking at this and reading it correctly, it looks like the lobster roll was up against the Speedle, so it was automatically going to make it to the semifinals because what the fuck is a Speedle, right?
I don't know. But then the lobster roll had to go against the onion bagel, and then it had to go against the club or the chicken salad or the muffaletta or the Katsu Sando. So Brian said, fuck all those sandwiches. I'm not fucking picking any of those motherfuckers. The Chick-fil-A, the egg salad, the avocado. He didn't want any of that shit. He said, give me that motherfucking lobster roll.
I mean, he did. When he described it to me, there was a lot of passion in his voice.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But
Brian has always been very status driven.
Don't fucking cry about your pick now, motherfucker. That you're like, I want to pick another one.
Brian said, that's a rich sandwich. I don't want to be poor.
Well, you know what the problem with that, though, too, was? Is like, after I got done with that bracket, I was like, whatever. Whatever I pick here, it's not as good as any of the other brackets. So it's just kind of like, whatever.
Be fair. You have a bronzed lobster roll sandwich that you
I do
neck on special occasions.
Yeah. All right, this is Grant.
I have one next to my bed.
That's right.
This is Grant's right side of the bracket. He went with the Reuben. All right, so one of our staples versus. Do you want to tell him, Grant? It was the Lox bagel.
No contest. No, actually,
Brian, he ain't crying about this. Yeah. He wants it. He's on it.
I love both of them so much, and that was mine for like Brian had. It was like a really tough one because I love both of them so much. But I've had more consistent good bagel and lox than I have Reubens. So I had to go with the big one.
All right, let's see here. Dave's was the Reuben. All right, the staple, got to be the Reuben against the breakfast sandwich, the bacon, egg, and McMuffin.
A good choice too, though.
I mean, both of those things to me are like comfort hangover. Mm-hmm. You know I'm hungover all the time, so it's like I had to go with my gut on this one.
Ron went with the BLT. There's a pattern going on. Reubens and BLTs are definitely the top in that bracket coming out real hard. The BLT versus the Euro. Good job, Ron. I like that pick. That's a good pick. I went with the... Oh, boy. What did I do here? I had the... What word is that? I might have erased my words here. Hang on. BK. Oh, okay, so I must have had the Euro and the BLT.
Good choices.
Euro and BLT. All right. Let's see here. Now we'll go.
I mean, from the amount of cocksucking you're giving the Euro, I imagine the Euro won that bracket.
No, I mean, I just think that the Euro is a good challenger. It was an unexpected challenger, but it works because I feel like it has a lot of legs. It was something I wasn't expecting to come out of this, like in terms of like, oh shit, the Euro. I didn't think about that kind of a thing.
Isn't the Euro mostly lamb meat?
Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I don't know.
Isn't that the traditional?
What is the Euro? The Euro represents, isn't it like the salady type shit inside of it with the tahini shit, and then you got the meat and then the bread. Isn't that a Euro? Does it have to have lamb in it?
No, I'm just thinking the traditional was.
It might be traditionally that might be the case.
I've had them with beef and chicken, so I mean, I liked them back when they were called gyros. So
yeah. I mean, way better then. Yeah. In the mall when we'd go to the gyro shop. Yeah, of course. All right. So on this side of the bracket, we'll start with Brian again. He had the pastrami on rye, the New York pastrami on rye. By the way, he has a Reuben and a pastrami on rye going in this thing still.
Brian's a monster.
Pastrami on rye versus the banh mi. So that's Brian's top two on that side. Grant's was the Philly cheesesteak versus the Italian submarine sandwich, which Very boring. Very boring. But okay, I see. On Dave's side, Dave went very, very ethnic. He had the Monte Cristo and the Cubano. Dave went with a couple of wild sandwiches there. I like that. And then on this side, let's see. Ron went with the what the fuck did I just write there? Oh, the cold cut. I wrote it as conduct. The cold cut sandwich versus the PB&J. Good job, Ron.
Ooh. Ron, it's like you're a 10-year-old boy.
I just want like a fucking
some prison sandwiches.
Give me a salami sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly, mommy. That's all I want to eat.
Ron's meals only go to second base. That's fucking Ron's meals right there. They're just fucking like playing it safe over there, Ron.
On this side, I must have picked I'm sorry, I don't have my pick out of this. So I must have picked the Philly cheesesteak versus I think I had the PB&J. All right. And now let's go through our winners here. This is going to be our finals. I will shrink this down just a little because we're getting way further out. All right. So Brian's final was the BLT versus the banh mi. So he got rid of all of his pastrami sandwiches are gone.
Yeah. When you put it that way, I was like, what was I thinking?
The BLT versus the banh mi.
I do love a BLT though.
All right. Now Grant had the Philly cheesesteak versus the lox on bagel sandwich. He's playing to the crowd. He is playing to the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, right now.
Extremely racially driven. Cool.
This dude doesn't even go to synagogue or anything. This motherfucker's out here like claiming right now. What you talking about, motherfucker? That'd be like me saying I'm Catholic or something.
Lox and bagel is his religious experience.
Oh my God.
It's in my blood.
It's in your blood. All right. That's why I love potatoes. I don't know why. I just love a potato. Dave's was the Monte Cristo. He's riding hard for that fatty old sandwich. The Monte Cristo versus the Reuben.
Oh.
Let's see. Ron's was the cold cut sandwich versus the cold cut
sandwich.
I know it's like two cold cut sandwiches. You went with like the muffaletta.
Oh my God,
it's too much. And I went with the breakfast sandwich versus the gyro. Boom. I love me a breakfast sandwich. I can't stress that enough. Okay. I love eggs on bread. That's
How you feeling about a breakfast sandwich, like a pancake breakfast sandwich?
Oh, those fucking
McGriddles. Like an egg or English muffin, you use pancakes? Have you done
McGriddle? I love a nice McGriddle.
Really?
Oh, I make them at home now.
Those feel kind of soggy compared to like using the English muffin.
Oh, just I'll make you breakfast one day, baby.
Okay, come on over.
Yeah.
I'll eat it with a fork. All right, and here's our winners. So Brian went with BLT versus banh mi. His winner was Brian.
The banh mi.
The banh mi. All right. Dave went. His head-to-head was Grant's was Philly cheesesteak versus his cliche sandwich that he had. Grant, which one did you pick?
The Philly.
Nice. All right, Dave's was the. Do I even need to say Dave's was the Monte Cristo versus the Reuben? Which one?
Monte Cristo.
Here's the thing, though. It's only because I don't eat it very often. Like I can make all those other sandwiches at home. Like man, Monte Cristo.
Here's Ron's. Ron went with. What was that?
I want to know from Dave. Where do you get your best Monte Cristo?
You know what? It's been a long time since I've had one. I think that I had one in San Jose at like a diner last time. It was like 15 years ago. Like I haven't had one in a while.
This fucker picked it as his favorite sandwich.
But I would say this. I believe they have a Monte Cristo at some of the restaurants at Disney, and I had it there, and it's pretty fucking delicious.
Is it?
So you dip it in syrup. Oh fuck it, man, so good.
That's why I was bringing it up because my wife has been like she's totally into Monte Cristo sandwiches, and it's because of Disneyland.
Yeah.
Make good food
thanks for reminding me. Next time that when they open that shit up, I'm definitely getting a Monte Cristo at Disneyland.
Nice. I had one at the VC Anderson's on the way down there, the pea soup place.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the first places I ever saw it on the menu. So I was like, what the fuck is this fucking sandwich? I couldn't believe it fucking existed. I was like, I was like 20 something years old. I was like 21 years. We were on a road down to down to Santa Barbara, and we stopped at VC Anderson's, and I was like, reading the menu, and I'm like, wait, what is on this fucking sandwich right here? It was the craziest thing I'd ever read.
Yeah,
I thought I was having a seizure. I didn't realize I was like, am I stroking out right now? I can't figure this out.
You're like, it can't even really be a sandwich because it's like deep fried, and then there's powdered sugar on it, and then they give you a syrup. You're like, what the fuck alien is this? I mean, it
sounds delicious.
Yeah.
All right, so then Ron had cold cut sandwich versus the muffaletta, and Ron, as we all know, loves himself a nice what, Ron?
I like myself a nice muff.
Cold.
That's right.
You went muffaletta?
He likes a nice moof.
Oh, okay.
Give him that moof. I've had a muffaletta. It's pretty good. It's a good sandwich.
I've never had one. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you this, guys. I was watching a show called Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. It's the guy who created Everybody Loves Raymond, and he travels the world just eating food. And I've been taking notes because I'm like, I got to change up my menu at home because it's the same fucking thing every week, you know? So there was a sandwich that he said was the best sandwich he ever had. It's not on this list. It's called a Sammich, and it's a Mediterranean sandwich. It uses the same pita bread as like a gyro, John. So it's that thick, you know, soft bread. It's got roast.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Did you do that, John?
I wish.
It does.
This is amazing. Grant is loving it.
It's got falafel. It's the best sandwich. I'm gonna get you guys the recipe and put it in the link below because I'll tell you what, it's the best sandwich I've ever had. All of these better than a Monte Cristo.
I don't even think he realized. That's about
Did I die? Was I locked?
You're frozen there through the whole description, which is totally fine.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. I'll get you the fucking recipe for it. I have it.
You pulled a fucking Grant. Grant loved it. Grant loved it, by the way. All right, so my final two came down to the breakfast sandwich versus the gyro. And
breakfast sandwich.
That was a tough one. Honestly, I think I picked the breakfast sandwich.
That's good. That's a good
That
pick.
is such a shitty pick. I don't know what the fuck. Out of all these sandwiches, I end up with a breakfast sandwich as my favorite. I think gyro is really good. I could maybe have picked that, but I don't know. All right. Well, I'm going to read you guys some of the official notes out of this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to read you from the notes from each round. Anything crazy that these are the upsets out of the first round. The Lucas sandwich took down the La Torta. The Nashville hot chicken knocked out the meatball sub, which I thought that was a tough one too. That's actually a tough meatball sub is a really good sandwich too.
Do you ever think about ordering a meatball sub though? Ever?
I literally just had it last week.
Really?
Oh yeah, Firehouse Sub. You ever go to Firehouse Subs? That place is bomb. Texas Beef Pit beat the number 3 Dagwood. The Euro crushed the number 6 beef brisket. The number 10 Patty Melt took the belt from the number 7 chicken parm. And the number 14 Bagel and Lox takes down the mighty number 3 lobster roll. All right, round 2. Most of the favored teams ended up moving forward. The Banh Mi and the Cuban had strong games, had 75% of the votes. BLT and French Dip showed up strong. The Reuben and the Club showed up strong. The breakfast sandwiches was doing real well. The third round, New York Pastrami on Rye pulls out an upset to defeat the legendary childhood hero in the PB&J. So the PB&J lost to the New York Pastrami on Rye. Let's see here. The Bocadillo beat the American Sub. Let's see. Yeah. The Reuben was losing to the Euro after 25 votes, but played a strong second half and beat the Euro by 3 votes. So that came close. Reuben was right on the ropes.
I mean, really, Reuben is a really well-rounded fucking sandwich. That's a pretty good one.
In the final round, this is not the final round, but the one right before. Let's see here. The mighty BLT took down the Reuben. The BLT won with 5% of the vote over, 55% of the vote.
Wow.
The breakfast sandwich rode past the Club. Let's see here. Number 1 seed was left. and the banh mi is doing good so far. And so, okay, we had. Let me see if I can. I'm going to pull up the. Without you guys, I don't want you guys to see it just yet. So it came down to, out of the final voting, it came down to the New York pastrami on rye versus the banh mi, and the BLT versus the bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin. Okay. And then out of that, the banh mi took down the pastrami on rye.
Wow.
And the BLT took down the breakfast sandwich.
BLT's going to win this fucking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it
wow.
came down
That was my picks, wasn't it?
Was yours banh mi and BLT? Let's see.
I think so.
Yes, it was. Brian picked the fucking final two. Look at Brian go. Good job, Brian. Wow. Incredible.
It makes me feel incredibly average.
I was about to say your brain pattern is feeling very average.
Dude, if you were to do like a fucking college basketball bracket, if you were to get down to the final two, like how fucking like rich you'd be right now. Dude, that shit's hella good money right there.
Wait, hold on a second. Hey, wait, hold on a second, John. If there was college basketball going on right now,
right.
You're absolutely right.
Brian just did a good job. But okay, and the winner between the banh mi and the BLT, the winner was. Do we even need to know? I mean, the BLT.
The BLT.
Yeah.
That is the American fucking sandwich right there. I mean, that's like a cold cut combo right there. That's like, you can't get more American than that.
This one says, hey, I'll give you guys the rundown. The banh mi had a lot of votes right away. Came out to a quick lead, but at the end of the day, the BLT made a solid comeback. Let's see here. Day two, came in. BLT looks like it won. So that was it. I love a BLT. I will say that out of all these sandwiches, if I was just, Grant talked about comfort in a sense, a BLT as a sandwich is like, it's hard to go wrong with a BLT. Like a well-made BLT, it could be heaven. Almost, that first bite into the crunch of the bacon and the like mayonnaise and the I know I'm making everybody hungry right now.
I don't want a BLT.
Dude, it's really good. Like that's a real BLT's not some slob to like. And I like my BLTs on wheat bread. Anybody eat them on wheat bread?
Oh yeah,
yeah. The bread isn't as important. I think
the bread.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to either grill it or toast it.
Can I ask you guys a question? You mentioned Firehouse earlier. What's your favorite sandwich shop? Is there one? Because I mean, I like Ike's because it's dirty and
yeah, that place is hella good.
It's hella good. It's a little pricey, but it's delicious.
I used to like a Luca's that style. What's the one in Oakland?
Like straight up deli, like Italian deli.
Yeah, delicatessen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then I do like that Firehouse has a good sub sandwich. I don't know about the rest of their sandwiches. Beach Hut Deli. Does anybody ever have a Beach Hut Deli?
Yeah, I like Beach Hut, but it
super expensive.
It is super expensive, and the reason that I like it is because I can get a beer with my fucking sandwich. But at the same time, it's not the best sandwich. It's just like the novelty of being like, oh, I'll have a beer with it.
Oh, yeah, I think mine is. I get the Spicoli, pretty tasty.
Yeah. They're a little expensive for what you get on it, I think.
It's hard, honestly, sometimes to find good sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of places, like you say, they make mediocre like versions of these sandwiches.
Do you remember when we were in the convention grind, John, and we went to Primanti's in Pennsylvania? Do you remember that? You were there.
Yeah, I didn't like that sandwich.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like there was sauerkraut and French fries in it, and it was just kind of like...
People were like freaking out about that place. They were like, dude, if you don't go, we got to go to Primanti Brothers. It's like the best place ever in like Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, wherever around here. So we all like hopped in, like all of us like piled from the convention over to this place. I ate that sandwich, and I swear my stomach did not feel good the next day. Like I was...
that whole crew of people, though, they also love Golden Corral. So it's like... I don't know. It's not like
they fucking swore by that shit though. And I've actually, it's weird. They're not the only ones. Like when I've heard people talk about East Coast, oh, you got to try this, you got to try that. Primanti Brothers comes up as a thing that people say they need to try.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to put up like a final four of sandwiches out of all of the sandwiches? Do you think there were some sandwiches that like we missed out on? Well, I mean, I'm not saying like that we missed out on, but could it have been like the Reuben versus the BLT versus the
I see what you're saying.
Like
if the brackets were changed.
Yeah. If we could just put the top 4 sandwiches up there. Like I know Grant wants to put that Lox fucking bagel up there.
I do, but that for me, a good Philly with like very cooked meat where the meat's almost crispy, and then you always have to get double cheese. Right. It's just ridiculous.
You can either get both onions and peppers, or just like one or the other is fine.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. A good fill. I get that one with chicken too every now and then. A chicken.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah. Really.
Hey guys, I got to ask a real important question. Do you think anyone gives a fuck about what we think about sandwiches?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I know we've been on here for a while. I did want to say that I did find these cards that Grant had made of us. I can't really show them very well, but that's Brian.
Oh, beautiful.
There's a whole fucking thing on the back of them where it's a description written by Grant of us.
Oh my God.
Right.
Wait. Grant's descriptions of us?
Yes. It's his. Do you want me to just? I could read through these.
Just Grant's.
No, don't read mine.
Yes, but I feel like also this is a great episode. This is a great 3-minute episode.
Okay, maybe we'll do when we record our Speedster episode. We'll just throw this in. I'll throw this in the beginning.
Yeah, I like that little teaser. So what you're saying is...
I got a teaser. I will give you a teaser, okay? I'll give you Grant's... just a little bit of Grant's, okay? No. This is the teaser. No, you know what? I'll give you a little bit of Dave's. How's that? Because Grant has I don't want to spoil Grant's. Let's see here. Oh, Dave is the wild card of the group and is always good for a laugh.
I try. I do my best, guys.
There you go. There's no one for Ron. So, Grant, if you could get on a Ron one real quick.
You need to make a Ron.
That was pre-me.
That'd be good.
That was
the name of that episode, the name of the mini episode is called Get on Ron.
Get on Ron or pre-me. Pre-me would be what the...
Pre-me.
What's great? I don't know. I'll save it. I don't because I want to tell you guys.
You got to scan them or whatever, and then have them like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll do that. I'll scan it so then I can just I'll have them on the screen so we.
Oh my God! Yeah, scan the front and the back so that when you're talking,
you can read along.
Words are up. That'll be fucking so stupid. And you're sure Grant wrote all of these?
Yes. What's funny about Grant, though, in typical Grant fashion, so you got your Grant, right? Vertical. You got your John, vertical. You got your Brian, he's vertical. And then there's fucking Dave, he's horizontal. What the fuck, Grant? Like, you couldn't just do the fucking...
Dave is always horizontal.
It's like every one of them...
I like that.
Good graphic design, Grant. It's like fucking...
It was on purpose!
It was on purpose! It was on purpose! This fucking guy. All right, we'll talk about these next week for sure. This is a whole
It's good to see you guys. And next week.
That was a really fun time talking about sandwiches. Thank you for letting me run that tournament through you guys. I thought it was really
I think
fun.
It's time to go get a sandwich.